Welcome to The Experience, live with Russ and Scott. Join us every Wednesday at 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. Learn more about the Experience community at our website, local.theexperience.video, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. The Experience is brought to you each week by these great sponsors. Present Gifting believes relationships are important. Moments matter. Join the early VIP access list at presentgifting.com.
And Capital Mortgage Source of Corvallis, Oregon. For all your mortgage services, go to capitalmortgagesource.com. And Ironhead Roofing in the Willamette Valley for all of your roofing, repair, and new roofs, and even solar. Go to ironheadroofing.com. And the Albany Habitat for Humanity. To donate or volunteer today, go to albanyareahfh.org.
And now let's get on with the show. Yeah,
Ta-da!
let's get on.
Let's get this show going. All right. Good morning, Scott. How you doing?
I am doing great, Russ. Hey, I just want to tell people I had a fun time yesterday on Kim Speed's show, and so you can find her on LinkedIn and that. Also on my YouTube channel, I streamed it over there because she also uses StreamYard, and so I was able to share that. Just a fabulous conversation, so much information that we talked about, but it was just a blast.
Wow. Well, Kim is just so much fun. She's just amazing. And yeah, so I'm so glad you guys had such a good time. That's great. And you have a landing page for that too, right?
Yeah, I created a landing page just for our conversation. So Kim has a book that talks about her journey, working for an agency, getting laid off, starting her own business. But people, and I'll put this in the comments, dscottsmith.com/Kim Speed. And then I've got a couple of things there. One of them is a new course that I've got out. That's very limited enrollment opportunities, but there's this book that goes with it. Anyway, it's a 18-week one-on-one meeting for intentional living. And we often talk about habits, routines, rituals here. And so making way for creating your legacy and adding to your body of work. But also, and this is one of our sponsors, Present Gifting. Present Gifting is now released. So people can just go to presentgifting.com, or they can go to the landing page and find it. But presentgifting.com is now available. You can put in the important people in your lives, the important reminder or important events that are coming up, get little gentle reminders to say, hey, don't forget your anniversary is coming up in a week or 3 weeks or whatever time you decide you need to know. Or maybe it's a friend's birthday or a work anniversary, something that you want to celebrate, because relationships are important and moments matter.
Oh my goodness. I couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. Well, that's awesome. And speaking of our sponsors, just want to thank Habitat for Humanity in Albany, Ironhead Roofing, Present Gifting, and Capital Mortgage Source. And so thankful to everybody who helps us, because we are also listener supported. And so you will find this QR code or a link in the comments. Thanks so much that we could not do the show without you. Any gift you give goes directly to the production cost of the show. So thankful for that. Remember, here on The Experience, live with Russ and Scott, we're here every Wednesday, 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, 9 a.m. Texas Standard Time for your viewing and listening pleasure. That's right. After we go live, it sits on LinkedIn, YouTube forever, and it sits on Facebook for 30 days. Then it converts to audio podcasts. All of your favorite audio podcast platforms we are on. So if you can't watch, please listen. And Scott, we have something else they can go find more information about us, right?
Yeah, people can go to local.theexperience.video. That's the website, a little landing page we've got. You can find our YouTube channel there for The Experience. Also, Russ and my individual YouTube channels. Tons of stuff, tons of content and information there. You can find out about the different shows that we have, like the Experience on Wednesdays, the Experience Local on Mondays, the Marketing with Russ show, which is on Mondays and Thursdays, and then Marketing with Russ, which is Thursday evening, and then my radio show here in Texas, the Waco Experience, an American Story, which broadcasts on KBBW and is, of course, a podcast everywhere humans listen to such things.
Yes, wherever humans listen to such things, right? So good, Scott. Well, I think hopefully I sound better now, thanks to my good friend and co-host, D. Scott Smith. Quick adjustment on microphones there. And I think it's time to get Andrea in the room. What do you think?
Oh, I'm looking forward to hearing what's going on in her world.
Yes. Well, we have a big intro for you, Andrea. So are you ready? She's back there. She is ready to go. Here we go.
Oh, it's like stereo vision. I like that. We've got two Andreas right there on the screen.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's such a blessing. Such a blessing to have you on. Hey, let's start from the beginning. Since this is your first time on the Experience Live with Russ and Scott, let's tell everybody, who in the world is Andrea? What are you up to?
That's a good question. I am in the middle of doing some new things. So I'm born and raised in Florida, mom of 2 kids. Having kids kind of cracked me open in a lot of ways. I've never looked at my identity deeper than when those kids were born. And it led me to an industry that I never saw myself doing or never saw myself in. And God has really placed me here for a reason. So that's kind of me in a nutshell.
So tell us about what you're involved in right now, and who do you help and how do you help them?
So I'm a life insurance broker, which I'll be super honest. When I accidentally landed in this field, accidentally applied to a brokerage company. And I was getting back in the workforce. I'm like, you know what? I haven't had a professional conversation in so long. And let me just, kind of go through that route. And I met some really amazing people along the way. And I never saw myself talking to people about life insurance and what's going to happen to their loved ones and all of us. It's the one product you are guaranteed to use, right? So, but there's a lot of misconceptions and different things. So I help people, one, get clear on what does their life currently look like? What do they want their life to look like? How do they want to leave their family members, right? It's an intimate conversation. And so helping people navigate that, and also the education side. There's so much that people don't know about life insurance. There's a lot of depth to it. And oftentimes when something feels a little uncomfortable, we kind of procrastinate and, want to push it aside and maybe we'll do this a different day. And I really just welcome the conversation to talk with people and see where are you at? How can I serve and, be as best support to you? Really, really passionate about helping families. There's so many stories of, people having insurance and it's made a huge difference because they unexpectedly, right, are no longer here, or people that didn't have insurance and what that has happened, right, to their family. So very passionate about the family sector and really making sure that their home is as stable as possible.
Well, I love that because, it doesn't matter what you're doing. It's how you look at people and how you want to serve and bless them. And God definitely has you in the right spot because you have such a heart for people. And you're right. People are definitely guaranteed to use that product because at some point, we all move on. And that's, when you're caught with unexpected expenses, it's a big deal. So I am so thankful. Like when my dad first passed, he had a life insurance plan that paid for the funeral and the different things. He had planned ahead. And so that really helped. And so those kind of things. So let's talk a little bit more deeper about you because you accidentally fell into life insurance. Talk about you and what really ended up ultimately driving you that direction.
That's a good question. I definitely tried to self-sabotage my business for 2 years. I actually had a presentation today with a group that I'm in, and I told them, when we're little and we think, what do we want to do when we grow up? I never thought, ooh, I want to talk about death every day. Like, nobody wants to do that, right? So when I accidentally came into this industry, the first reason that I stayed was the leadership and the culture and my mentor. It is a place unlike any other professional setting that I've been in. That piqued my initial attention. But then, there's a lot of, in this industry, it pokes holes through your integrity. It's going to really challenge who you are. There's a high turnover rate as for a life insurance agent. It just is what it is. And so I was working my way through all of that. And then my own family had a lot of loss, a lot of grief, end of 2024, majority of 2025. And it just kind of hit me that the work that I do is really important. Having these conversations, as uncomfortable as they are, it's really important. It makes a huge difference for people. All of us, right? No one has a crystal ball. We are all going to be, moving on at some point, like you mentioned, Russ. And I genuinely feel like when that's happening, give families a space to mourn, grieve, celebrate whatever they want to do, whatever they need to do. And financials should not be a stressor or a burden. I've been really blessed in my life to see life insurance and setting up an estate and things like that done right. And that has been a blessing. I've also seen it not done right, and, the trajectory of a family. So if I can make a difference in someone's life and help them feel somewhat supported as best as they can during that time, I want to do that to the best of my ability.
And Andrea, have you had the opportunity to deliver one of the death benefits to a person that you? Yeah. Okay.
I don't know if I would say I've been blessed, because at some point that's going to come, right? It's a natural part of it. I would say, in something that's like not created equal, our brokerage specifically, when that happens, we will support that family through that process to as much as we can, right? The paperwork, navigating with the insurance company, things like that, to take something off of their plate. So when that time comes, I will still support my clients, right, and their family, to be able to help them, get what they need.
I've talked to folks that sell insurance, life insurance specifically, and one of the stories is they talk about having had that conversation with a family, and then they made the decision to purchase the policy. But then when that agent went to deliver that, the death benefit, it was such an enriching time for them, because there's a lot of what ifs in the conversations that you have. And I'll just say, life is not so good when we do what ifs for things that we should, did in the past, right? What if in the past is the wrong way to operate? But there are a lot of what ifs in the future that we can address, So what if the key earner in the family leaves, right? Or the key caregiver in the family is absent? What do you do? And so I valued the conversations that I had with those agents, because it gave me a better understanding. And then I put in the comments here that my experience is that families that believe in generational wealth also believe in life insurance. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Probably my favorite topic. So my granddad is one of the reasons why I have realized I'm supposed to be here. He was a forward-thinking man. Had life insurance for all of his grandkids. So I was a month old and he got all of us life insurance. So I've had a policy that has grown in cash value for 30 plus years. And for 20 something of those years, I had no idea what I had. And now looking back, it's pennies. Like, my premium is literally pennies for what I'm getting. But the cool thing is what he put in place has grown. It's a better use of my time and energy. I can go take a loan out on my policy that is going to cost me far less than it would to go to a bank or go to a lender and get, go get a loan for whatever interest rate is out there. And so I've had the just sincere pleasure of using my policy to pay off high interest debt. Right now, we're getting ready to use it to buy a new car. We've got 2 kids in a sedan. It's hard, like not super comfortable.
Time for the minivan, right? Yeah.
Whew, I'm trying not to do the minivan. I got to be honest, but it might be going that direction.
I tell you, I kicked and screamed until I was riding around with friends that have. I'm like, this is like a rolling room.
I know. I know. And that's a topic for a different day. But being able to use something, right, that we're saving money on, it's simple interest. There's so many good things about it. And to me, it's like a gift that keeps on giving from my grandparents, and neither one of them are no longer here. And so every time I get to use a vehicle that they put in, right, for something that's currently happening in my life right now, I feel like they're a part of it in some way. So there's a lot of different ways to look at generational wealth. That's one way. One of the things that I love is for, people that want to leave an inheritance, right? That's one reason that you would use life insurance. My favorite reason or favorite way, truthfully, is juvenile policies, getting them set up with something that they will have forever. They can access it when they need it. And once again, it's just a better use of their money over time for college and buying a new car and a down payment on a house and things like that.
Well, so I have a question for you that a lot of people might be asking. Some people struggle with life insurance, getting life insurance. We get older. And what happens is I'll use myself for an example. You have a good term life insurance plan, but your term is up. You have something, they will not renew your term life insurance. And you're kind of stuck with a high options to get so much less than you had before. I was able to take out a small plan that is not determined by my health, and at least have something for my beautiful wife, when the time comes. But it's really a bummer that I was not able to keep the plan I had before. So this is my question: when planning, when you're younger and you're not in those situations and you're healthy, how can you plan for the future so that you don't get stuck in that kind of situation?
Yeah. Russ, I'm sorry that you're going through that. I know that sometimes you kind of feel like your hands are tied. There's only so many options, right? You want something, but this is what you have to work with. I talk to people like that every week. I think the one thing that people don't understand with life insurance is it is a fraction of the cost. It's so much less when you're younger. And, a really great example is like a kid's policy could be $15, maybe $20, $25, depending on how much you want to, put in that. And I talked to retirees who had work insurance. They're retiring. Now they're looking at personal coverage because they need it. And it's $600 a month. That's crazy in retirement. I've never recommended anyone to do that. Like, go enjoy your retirement. Let's do something else with your money than $600 a month. And so when you look at putting something in place when you're younger, it's so much more cost effective. You're building a bucket of cash, and now you're locked in forever. There's win-wins all the way around. I find for people, it's forward thinkers. I love juvenile policies. To me, it's not about getting a child life insurance. It's about them building that cash bucket. In life insurance, there has to be a relationship of both. There's still life insurance attached to it, but it's not like, oh, we need to get a kid coverage. Let's build them more of a financial foundation that they can use for so many other things.
Life insurance, the industry to me is also fascinating because I will just say that it's self-supporting. That is, if there, people buy a policy with a company, and so let's say you're going to buy it for your grandkid. You got a newborn kid, and then you're looking at a policy that a whole life policy, something that's going to be, they're going to pay premiums into it for 50, 60 years and go, well, will that company be there? But life insurance, the industry understands that the first company that doesn't pay out on a policy, the whole industry is trashed. And so any company that has ever had all of the other companies come in and rescue all of the people. So no government support, because, is this insured by the FDIC? No, it doesn't need it because the industry understands they have to be there. And so talk about the security that is developed when people invest in life insurance. And I will call it an investment.
Legally, I cannot call it an investment.
I'm here for you to say things because I don't have I don't have an insurance license. FINRA has no jurisdiction over my life.
So I like this topic. I think for a lot of people, maybe they're curious, but they haven't taken the time to look into it, or I don't know, probably a lot of different things, right? But the thing that I learned that shocked me when I first got into this industry is the life insurance industry is more regulated than our banks. And I was like, can that actually be? That doesn't make any sense. They say if you go to a bank and, however many people walk in and say they want all of their money, the banks are not going to be able to give you your money, or everyone, right? For life insurance, it's different. They are required to have your money right there and on hand. And so it's just interesting to me, the differences. I also do think that in pick any industry, there's some not great people in that industry. Unfortunately, with life insurance, it's a delicate conversation. We are talking about some things that people may not initially be super comfortable talking about. I've had husbands and wives and I'm asking them what will life look like if Mary didn't come home, or if your retirement was gone, different things like that. And they're like, I've never thought about that before, right? Life is busy. You keep going. There's something else on the schedule. There's another, you got to go to the grocery store, all these different things. And we forget to sit down and think about our life. What do you want it to look like? So, kind of answered a couple of different things in there, but it's a highly regulated industry, which I appreciate. There's a high level in integrity when it comes to the underwriting process. I had no idea when I first got in here how specific, right, and intentional, and if you don't tell the truth, they know, right? I'll just say it like that. And so the interesting thing to me, I tell my clients, I'm like, treat me like your attorney. I need to know everything. I need to know that time that you went to the hospital because you were dehydrated, and it might seem like nothing, but I need to know that. And the carrier is like the judge. So the more that I know, the better, right, for the application process. So it's a very, very interesting industry to be in.
Well, I think it takes somebody like you with a big heart to really, have that good conversation with people. I know when I lost my parents, my dad was very organized, and I also had a lot of good friends that really helped me making very important decisions that would, if decided wrong, would cost you a lot of money, right? Well beyond life insurance, but life insurance is such an important part of that. And I think when they have that caring conversation with you, like you said, it stops them and they go, oh, I never considered that. So I think that is why you're such a huge blessing. So when you run into those situations and you're guiding people along, what is some of the most important things people to think about?
I love this question. And the thing that initially pops into my head is, so we reach out, our brokerage reaches out to people in a variety of ways. Of course, digital. I mean, everything is digital now. So we have a huge digital presence. And we get in front of people who are looking for insurance. So we ask them a series of questions to get some type of background information to help us quote. And Man, how do I want to answer this, Russ? I have had people come to me and they're like, okay, I didn't think about mortgage protection or I didn't think about life insurance. Let me start that conversation. We're in the conversation and then it dawns on me that they don't even need life insurance. My most recent favorite client that I had, I mean, she's super, super new. She has done so well for herself. She's like, I don't really know what I was doing. I was investing, I was doing things. And I'm like, well, it paid off. Like, you're going to enjoy your retirement. And I was like, you don't even need life insurance. You need a trust to protect what you have because you want to pass that down to your family. And if you don't have that, she's in Georgia. If you don't have that, right, there's implications. And so I've really enjoyed looking at the whole picture. I would say most of the time people need some type of life insurance protection, but there are times where like they just need a trust. They have a business, they have a home. They don't want that to go to probate. They may not even know what probate is, but if I tell them, they're like, yeah, I don't want that. So it's looking at that whole picture and seeing like, what does that person genuinely need? Sometimes it's protection. I am working with someone right now. They're going through making some business decisions and they need a business attorney. That's like the number one thing right now on their priority. They're like, I have to take care of this before I can even think about anything else. And I'm like, great, I got a business attorney for you. Go
Just to
talk
give
to
people
them.
a quick word on what probate is, just think that all of your personal financial information is going to be made available to the entire public. It's going to be of anyone in the world can look at everything about your finances, which maybe you don't want people to know, right? And so there's a good reason for that. I know Russ is going to wind us down here, but it's just been, Andrea, great talking with you today. It actually is a very helpful subject for people, I think, to take a look at. There's so many different uses. One of the things that I've recommended for people is if you have a family-owned business, but you have a key employee, but you don't want to give ownership, so if you have a big company, you might have an ownership program, stock, but you don't want to give that key manager, your general manager or something, ownership in the company, but doing a life insurance policy with certain conditions is a great way to build cash value for them based on the profitability of the company without giving up ownership. And the other thing is people have big estates, particularly farms. Farms end up going into the multiple millions of dollars. And when that passes to the heirs, there's going to be inheritance tax that they have to pay. And in many cases, they have to sell the farm to pay the taxes. And that's not what they wanted. And so protecting family heritage is a huge reason as well. So thank you for all of your information today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Well, I just want to say, I want to second that. What a blessing. Loved our first conversation. This is such an important topic. We could actually have 3 or 4 shows on this, things that people really need to think about. But so happy to highlight you, and definitely want to encourage everybody to connect with Andrea for sure. She is, well, I tell you, insurance can get a rough and a bad name at times, but dealing with people like you, Andrea, just warms my heart and lets me know there's people out there that really care about you. I love the John Maxwell quote, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And you are definitely one of those kind of people. So, well, let's wrap it up. Give everybody your gold nugget of today, what you really want them to remember from today's conversation, and let them know how they can get in touch with you.
Okay. I would say, life is great, right? There's a lot of joyous moments. There are times that life can get really hard. Find your village, find those people that you can lean on, that can support you through the great moments and also through the ones that are going to be a little extra challenging. We all need people like that in our corner. To find me right now, I'm on Facebook and LinkedIn. I'm super excited. Maybe next time we talk, I've got some things in the works that are changing. So for right now, that's where you can find me.
Well, that is so awesome. And by the way, all of that information, besides being on the bottom of your screen, and if I get this going there, and it's also ticking along the bottom, her LinkedIn. I tell you guys, you can click on it. It's clickable. You don't need to remember it. you leave this and you think, oh my goodness, how do I get a hold of Andrea? Well, you just go back to the same feed that you're watching live on. It becomes a video podcast. It'll sit on LinkedIn, YouTube forever, Facebook for 30 days. So go back there, get the information, connect with Andrea. You'll be happy that you did. And if you're listening on audio podcasts later on, just jump online, check out Russ Hedge or D. Scott Smith on LinkedIn, or just go to russhedge.com or dscottsmith.com for more information on that. So anyway, thanks so much again, Andrea. Listen, we're going to say goodbye to you here on screen, but hold tight because we're going to talk to you after we wrap up. Okay.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Good to see you.
You bet. Wow. Well, Scott, amazing.
Yeah, this is a deep subject. As you said, there's just a ton of information. I think the misinformation that's out there, because it's an easy subject to poke fun at in sitcoms. And so people think they understand in industry, but no, just talk to an expert like Andrea.
Exactly. And there we got Fabio. He's already following Andrea. Thank you. And I'm telling you, you will not be sorry. You will not be sorry.
Right.
Also, Scott, how do people find out more about you and I?
Yeah, go to local.theexperience.video. All kinds of information about all the numbers of shows that we have. You can even get copies of our books, Business Networking, A Scientific Method, and Life Happens, and Then You Choose, right there on local.theexperience.video.
Yes, and we would love for you to join our YouTube page. If you can do it there, or you go directly to the Experience.video. Please open that, subscribe. Why, you ask me? I don't need more subscriptions. Well, this is one you will value because we have thousands of people on there that have great value for you and all of their contact information. You will find topics on the experience of there's different lives and experiences we've had on with amazing people that will benefit you. So please subscribe today. Go to local.theexperience.video or theexperience.video today, and we would really appreciate that.
It's free. Subscribe, it's free. And so cancel Netflix because that's just wasting your time. Go over here, save money, subscribe, learn from fabulous people like Andrea.
Oh my goodness. Absolutely. And just so thankful again for all of you that joined us. I'm telling you, it is going to be an amazing day today. I'm putting Andrea's information up here again. At least I think I am. But it's in the comments in the show notes, everybody. I'm having trouble finding it. Oh, there it is. Okay. Anyway.
Hey, and Russ, before we go, I want to bring up a book project that you're working on and I get to be a part of. Can you give people just a little glimpse, and we'll talk about it more in the weeks coming?
Yes, thank you. And, this is going to be such an amazing book. And Ever is going to put that in the comments here for us, the information how to find out about Kathy Dirksen, who was here commenting on this show, is the person that is coordinated all of this. And so the new book collaboration, all the details are right there on the link you see on the screen. That is in the comments. It's all about when life gets messy, keeping a good perspective and good purpose in your life. And so for more details, go there. Super excited about that opportunity. And we're going to be pushing forward with that soon. Scott and I have both had a few bumps in the road, but we're going to get onto that here soon.
Yeah.
And
so people can go to the website, inspired.now.site/intentional_perspect. Now that's a lot of information. So the best thing to do is to check the replay, check the notes here.
Yes, exactly. And it's really simple and straightforward. And so really appreciate you all doing that. I appreciate you bringing that up, Scott. I think what's really important, Scott, to me, and I give you the credit for this, that everybody has a book in them. Everybody has their story. And I have been blessed to publish 2 individual books that have been bestsellers and also international best-selling anthologies, which will go on and live long beyond my life here on earth. So if you want to positively affect people, put it down in writing, make a difference in people's lives. By the way, this book collaboration also comes with, when we put this together, we will be also putting it up on the billboards in Times Square. And so if you want to be up in Times Square, you've always dreamed about that, this is a way to do it. The most inexpensive way you'll probably ever get to become an international bestseller and get your book up in Times Square. So check out more information about that. Kathy Dirksen is your person. And we'll also put Kathy Dirksen's contact information up here one more time, if you could do that. So we're done for today, everybody. We're here every Wednesday, 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time for your viewing and listening pleasure. Don't forget, it converts to audio podcast. If you don't have time to listen, you can actually, or watch, you can actually listen. And I know a lot of people would prefer to do that. So you have all kinds of opportunities to do that. And with that, Scott, any last words?
Yeah, I'm just going to say thank you to Andrea for being a guest and providing insights into an important part of life.
Oh, my goodness. So important. So important. So with that, everybody, enjoy your life and enjoy
the experience.
There you go. See you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to The Experience live with Russ and Scott. If you enjoyed today's show, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or subscribe on YouTube. See you next time.